Clint Davis, a marriage, family therapy, and trauma counselor, and Misty Alexander, who is the wellness director at the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana.
The folks at the YMCA are hosting what's called Crucial Conversations. And I want you to, when you're listening to this, this is really important to teach parents how to talk to their kids about sexuality. And this is so important today, Clint. You're going to have several sessions. Folks can sign up. They just need to show up for one. And it really will be a help. What is your message going to be to these parents?
I think the main message that I want for people is to understand that these conversations, like the title is, are very crucial, very important to help their kids be successful emotionally, physically, and safe in a culture that is increasingly becoming more dangerous when it comes to sexuality, whether that's pornography, whether that's sleepovers, whether that's with a parent. They need to know how to talk about their bodies, how to protect themselves at a young age, but also as they go, protect themselves from internet pornography, from things online, from texting, from social media, things that kids are getting into nowadays that we've never seen happen before the last 10 years.
The interesting thing to me about this is it's not just sort of a one-size-fits-all discussion and or seminar. It's for like little kids up to 6 years of age. Then what was it, like 7 to 12, 13 to 18? Right. I'm sure that the curriculum, if you will, in those three will vary somewhat.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, that's kind of the point of how I wrote it, is that if you're a parent and you have a 4-year-old, it's important to understand these conversations go from a young age to 18, let's say, but they're not the same conversation every time. So you might start off very lightly with what to look at and what not to, but then as they get older, you define that more and talk about it more and give more context.
Too many of our kids, Misty, are so sexualized at such a young age. The Y is now stepping in to be a part of that. Is this going to be kind of, you hope, a first step in doing more things like this?
It is. Y's across the country do a lot of mental health programming. And as a parent of 2 young children, I have boys 7 and 9, I'm preparing for how to talk to them going forward. And we've done some things so far, but I don't know what to do, and that's why I enlisted Clint to talk to me and to talk to other parents. I don't even know what I need to know, if that makes sense, and where to start and how to talk to them and how to prevent them from doing things that I don't want them to do as a parent.
Clint, will there be part of this that will be, because so many kids are sexualized because of all the social media, will a part of this be to teach the parents how to watch for things that are dangerous as well? Because some of us are ignorant, and some grandparents too who are in charge of kids, we're ignorant to some of the stuff that the kids are being attacked through.
Yeah, that's some of what we're going to talk about. A lot of what I'm going to talk about is explaining, why we need to be having this conversation and then what to do. And so if you think about the last 10 years and the smartphone coming into the home, about 84% of parents have no rules for devices, because they didn't have devices. So it's not that they're intentionally being neglectful, but they don't even know that they need to be watching things. And so if you think about it, if you're a parent who's like, oh, I got this, I understand it, I protect my kid. Well, the problem is that 8 out of 10 parents around your kids aren't. And so that's kind of the conversation is, you may be doing great, but our margin for error in our society now is too small for us to not know this information.
I think one of the things that might concern people about this, and we can clarify, you guys can clarify, is this is not a specific curriculum or point of view or moral point of view that you're telling parents to have or to give to their kids. It's you're giving them ideas. Here's some of the things that are going to come up. Here are some of the things that you can pick and choose from that you think are important to bring up with your kids and how to do it.
Yes, sir. 100%. There's no moral or religious background on this. It is strictly clinical. The ideas that we're going to be presenting are factual information that are across socioeconomic status.
I would also think one of the more difficult things, well, a couple. One is that kids are sexualized at such a young age and don't even realize what it is. And the second part is, how can parents tell what kids know and may not and probably don't discuss with them? How do you do that?
Well, Clint told me the age that children are first typically exposed to pornography, and I was shocked. So why don't you talk a little bit?
Let's play an over-under game. What do you think?
8.
I would say between 6 and 8.
Yeah, 6 and 8 is now the new. What you have to remember is that pornography has drastically also changed in the last 10 to 20 years. So it's not that they're just watching people have sex. They're watching violence, aggression, abuse, and they can access it as much as they want to at 8 years old. And that's a lot different than ever before in society.
You mentioned before about talking to these parents and crucial conversations you're having beginning April 22nd at the Y there at Knight and Preston. You talked about rules for devices that parents need to know. Give me some ideas about what you're talking about.
Well, what I'm talking about is if you hand your kid a smartphone, I think if you hand a little boy a smartphone, and you have no filter, he's going to be addicted to pornography and gaming very quickly. And if you hand a little girl a smartphone with no filter, she's going to be on Instagram or Snapchat looking at other women and judging herself and becoming very shame-oriented and body dysmorphia-oriented.
So what does mom, dad, grandparents do?
So there's Covenant Eyes, there's K9, there's...
Okay, start that sentence over again and go a little slower.
So Covenant Eyes is an app that you can use.
Wait. Go even slower.
Covenant Eyes.
Spell it for me.
Covenant.
Is that a trick question?
Like covenant? No,
Yeah,
no. It's yes. Covenant Eyes, like EYES.
Yes, sir.
Like covenant, like a deal.
Yes.
Eyes, like
your eyes on your face.
What I have astigmatism. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And what that app does, I'll just stick with it. It takes screenshots periodically throughout the day of your phone. And it sends you an email in the morning of everything you've looked at, what time you looked at it. It could be text messages. It could be a porn website. It can be whatever. And then if you go to something inappropriate, it filters that and automatically texts it. And it sends a blurred image to your accountability partner, and they can choose to de-blur it so they can see what it is or not.
What's an accountability partner?
So
Your mom and dad.
Yeah, your mom and dad, a friend. If you're an adult, it's super helpful to have a best friend or a pastor or somebody, an AA sponsor.
In other words, I don't mean this in a bad way. It rats out the kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
You can also get text message forwarding.
Okay.
So if your kid has a phone and they're texting someone, you should be getting 100% of those text messages.
You mentioned another app. There are a bunch of them, right?
Yes, ma'am. K9,
Okay.
K-9.
Is that like spelled like dog, or is it K?
K-9.
Okay.
Disney Circle is one that you can get on your home website and device, and it can filter all of your internet at your home, anything
right.
that's Wi-Fi.
Okay, Clint. Let me say
Pardon me,
this to
just
you.
a-
I'm
can
gonna be a 13-year-old for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't need to look at all my stuff. Why are you getting in my business? You need to stay out of my business.
Absolutely.
Please tell parents what to say to that child after they beat them. No, I'm just kidding. No beating, please.
No beating, because
That's a big T trauma.
yeah, the reality is if you've gotten there, you have to stop and kind of take some personal responsibility as a parent and realize that you didn't know out of ignorance, and now we're in a problem. So together, walking that back out and saying, hey, you know what? I didn't know that I should have done this, and that's on me. But now I'm learning to do things differently, and we're going to walk together through this and get better. And so, but regardless, this is going to happen, or you don't have this device. And so,
Or you pay for it yourself, right?
Yes,
For
I'm
sure.
paying for it.
yeah, absolutely. So it's a problem with kids thinking that their phone or their screen time or their gaming is not a reward for doing certain things, you know. And so there's entitlement, and you have to work that back out.
Do you have to have limits too on? I mean, are there times during the day when parents should just take the cell phone and say, "Look, this is family time. Put your cell phone in the box, and we're gonna play Monopoly or whatever."
Absolutely. So you should definitely do that. And I would say that for parents, for dads, for moms, when they come home from work, have some place where they put their phone and it's away from them, because the neurology of it's like a device that's yelling at you all day. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up if it's on the counter. So hide it. Number two, you have to realize that there are ways to, with any smartphone, make it a dumb phone. And so you can set a timer on an iPhone or an Android to where the whole thing shuts down, and the only thing they can do is text and talk, or you can shut that down too at a certain time. So you don't even have to take it from them because it won't work.
Wow. Okay, these sessions, crucial conversations, kick off on the 22nd. Misty, how do people sign up? Can they just show up? What do they need to do?
So they need to register on the YMCA's website, which is YMCA as in North, WLA.org. It's $15, but of course, we're the YMCA. We realize that some people can't afford to pay that fee, and we'll certainly work with those people if it's something that they want to attend.
And it starts on the 22nd, and you have several sessions,
Yes,
right?
yes. There's sessions for parents of children. These are not for kids. kids. These are conversations that kids should not be at. There's going to be heavy conversation, but it starts from 0 to 6 years of age, kids 7 to 12,
and then 13 to 18. And the website,
Right.
once again, is YMCA Northwest Louisiana, so it's NWLA.
Correct.
YMCA NWLA.org.